All right. I've been trying very, very hard to think of things that are good news in all of this. It's Saturday morning, it's about 10 a.m. One thing that is good news, I think Republicans have 52 seats in the Senate. They do not have 60. And if they win the House of Representatives, there are 20 or 25 races that still haven't been called, but it's leaning in their direction. If they do win the House, they're going to have a margin of, pretty much what they had in the last House, of like 4 or 5 seats. So again, they're not going to have a supermajority in either of the congressional bodies. Now, what does that mean? We all saw how the House of Representatives functioned over the last 2 years, and that is to say that it didn't function at all because of infighting among the Republicans. It wasn't really because Democrats stopped anything. It's Republicans couldn't get along with each other. That's going to continue. I think that's actually going to get worse. Because the Freedom Caucus people are going to feel completely emboldened, and they're going to make all kinds of unreasonable demands on every single piece of legislation. And there are still moderate Republicans out there from purple districts who have to kind of try to represent their actual district. And it was those moderate Republicans in the last House who stopped the Freedom Caucus people from going totally off the rails. And I think there's going to be some of that in the Senate. There's obviously going to be less of it. Mitt Romney's not going to be there anymore, ostracized as he was. But, they don't have super majorities in either legislative body. Now, that's not to say, the worst things that Trump is going to do, he's just going to do by executive order, I think. The tariffs and the mass deportations, and his takeover of the Department of Justice. And it was funny, I was listening to the Friday episode, yesterday's episode of the Bulwark Daily podcast with Tim Miller, and he was interviewing Ben Wittes. And it's always kind of affirming for me in a bit when, these guys think the same things that I do. And Ben Wittes was talking about Trump's takeover of the DOJ and the FBI, and he said Trump's going to fire Christopher Wray, the director of the FBI. And the first person who popped into my head, it was Kash Patel as being the head of the FBI. And if you don't know who that is, it's Kash with a K. Just Google him. It's pretty much a worst case scenario for the FBI if Trump appoints Kash Patel. But as soon as that thought popped into my head, Ben Wittes was like, hey, he's probably going to appoint somebody like Kash Patel. And, so I'm trying real hard to find the bright spots, the silver linings. And he's not going to have a supermajority in the Senate or the House. That's a bright spot. And Republicans in the House all hate each other. That's a bright spot. So we got to try to find the good news where we can.